We have some major breaking news that has announced that Cleetus McFarland will make another Arca start in 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive major breaking news this afternoon, as it has been announced that Cleetus McFarland, aka Garrett Mitchell, will make another start in Arca in 2025. It was announced on his Facebook page, and Garrett Mitchell says, "See you next weekend at Charlotte." News, Garrett Mitchell, according to Joseph Strigley, says news, Garrett Mitchell, aka Cleetus McFarland, will run the Arca Menards Series event at Charlotte Motor Speedway, presumably for Rette Jones Racing in the number 30. Cleetus McFarland has already made 2 starts so far in 2025. He ran the opening race at Daytona, has showed some really good speed early in that event, but unfortunately got caught up in a crash after Amber Balkan had issues in the early portion of the race, and he fell out of the event. Then a couple weekends ago at Talladega Superspeedway, he made a second Arca start, and he generally ran really well, and that's considering the fact he had lost a cylinder in the race, was running on 7 cylinders, and had lost the draft early, but he ran up front and actually got himself a really solid top 10 finish, his first career top 10 in the Arca Series. This is going to be the first time that we have seen Cleetus McFarland run a non-Superspeedway star in Arca, so that is going to be very interesting to see how he performs. Cleetus McFarland has brought a lot to Arca, of course, and if I was FS1 or Fox, I honestly would try to go ahead and put this race on main Fox, because it'd be really good exposure for Arca. Look at the numbers that his onboard camera got. His onboard camera, when it was on NASCAR's YouTube channel, the numbers for that were really, really huge and really, really successful. Cleetus McFarland brought a ton of eyes on the sport. I think his onboard camera had like 80,000 viewers at one point, because Cleetus McFarland is one of the biggest personalities on YouTube. Cleetus has over 4 million subscribers on YouTube, and anytime you talk about Cleetus, it's going to be something big for any single channel, regardless of who covers it. Now, what are my expectations for Cleetus McFarland at Charlotte? The goal, just gain as much experience as possible. Now, I realistically do think that Cleetus will contend for top 10. I don't think there's going to be a lot of really big competition in that race. You're obviously going to have the Joe Gibbs Racing number 18 car out there. You're going to have the Pinnacle Racing Group car driven by Brendan Queen. You're going to have multiple the Venturini cars. You're going to have Isabel Robusto in that car. I think Patrick Starpoli is going to be running that race, if I'm not mistaken. There's a couple other big names in the series, like I think Jason Kitzmiller is probably going to be running the event, and then maybe Gray Van All shows up once again, and there's a couple other cars that I would think are going to enter the event. I believe that Corey Day is also entered for Spire Motorsports, I'm pretty sure. So you have about 6 or 7 really competitive cars. So the goal for Cleetus McFarland, in my opinion, should be a top 10 run, because, again, the competition in the main Arca Series right now is not super strong. And Rette Jones Racing, they've hired a lot of people recently. Greg Zipadelli has come on board with the program in the last year or so, and I think he's also one of the big reasons in the first place why Cleetus McFarland is over there, and having Greg Zipadelli work with that program over there, I think has been really, really huge. Again, the realistic goal is a finish inside of the top 10 for Cleetus. But this is a really big deal because, again, I talk about Cleetus bringing a lot of eyes to the sport, and Cleetus absolutely is going to bring a lot of eyes to the sport in 2025. I think that, and you also talk about this too, we have heard that he will likely make some starts in NASCAR at some point in 2025, because he did confirm after he ran inside the top 10 at the Arca race at Talladega, he did confirm that he is looking to run one of the upcoming NASCAR races at Talladega in the fall. It will likely be the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series. If he does run the Xfinity Series race, which I would think he'd be approved for, I would think it had to be Rette Jones Racing. Rette Jones Racing did have an Xfinity program last year for Noah Gragson, and Noah Gragson showed a lot of speed with that program. There were rumors about maybe Haley Deegan going there last year too, but of course she went over to IndyCar. But I think if they do run, it will be with Cleetus. And then the Truck Series. There are some organizations out there that don't have things signed up. I do believe that Rayum has not locked everything up for 2025 currently at the moment, who's going to be driving. I don't think Talladega has been confirmed, and if it has been confirmed, let me know in the comments. But there are some teams out there that definitely would be willing, in my opinion, if he was to run the Truck Series race at Talladega, I think be willing to take him under the wing and put him behind the wheel. But this is still a really big opportunity for Cleetus, because I know that he has stated long-term that he does eventually want to run in the Daytona 500. He did say originally he was going to try to run the Daytona 500 by 2027, but I don't see that being the case. I think he said he's probably going to wait a little bit longer, but if he does in fact want to run the Daytona 500 by 2027, which is about a year and a half away from now at this point, he's going to have to go and do some other racing. He's going to have to get more experience in NASCAR. He's going to have to run some truck races, some Xfinity Series races, which he would be approved for considering he does have experience on those types of tracks. But this is a really really, really big deal for Cleetus to see him back behind the wheel of a race car once again, because I think that seeing someone like Cleetus, who brings a lot of eyes to the sport, who brings a lot of eyes to the table, I think he is going to do a very fantastic job with this program. And I think especially when it comes to silly season 4 next year on the NASCAR front, I think he is going to be part of those conversations. Same with people like Kyle Busch, not for the Cup Series, maybe the Xfinity or Truck Series, but guys like Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez and Connor Zilisch and Shane Van Gisbergen are part of those conversations. Obviously, with the lawsuit with Legacy and Rick Ware, and then 2311 in front row, there's those lawsuits going on currently at the moment on the Cup side. And then Xfinity and Trucks is usually where a lot of the chaotic silly season ends up happening, and that's where a lot of the big moves will take place for next year. To me, though, I think it's still a really exciting deal to see that Cleetus McFarland is coming back to race in Arca once again, and I think it's just going to be fun to see him out there because he's really fun to listen to. He does take it seriously. I know some people don't think he takes it seriously, and I know that he mainly has a YouTube channel with over 4 million subscribers, but the guy generally gives a crap about it. He really, really cares. He understands the game. He understands that he has to get better. He's taking it very, very seriously. He's getting mentored, I think, by some people. Gray Biffle's there to help him in a really big way, and even Max Pappas is there also to help him as well. And even Dale Jr. has also helped him give a little bit of advice as well to see what he can do. To me, though, Cleetus really, really is doing a lot for motorsports in general, and I think that this is going to be a big deal for Arca because I do think the numbers for the Arca race at Charlotte are going to be really big because Cleetus McFarland brings a lot of eyes to the table. He brings a lot of eyes to the sport, and I do think in the near future you are going to see him race in NASCAR at some point this year because they're talking about, because a lot of people, even Dorval McClure mentioned this like a couple weeks ago, but they think that Cleetus is going to make starts in NASCAR at some point in 2026. So nonetheless, really excited to see what Cleetus McFarland can do. Again, I don't think he'll be a factor for the win overall because again, I think that Joe Gibbs racing car or the Pinnacle racing car is likely going to win, but I do think Cleetus will be a factor for a solid top 10 finish. I think he'll get another top 10. He's also got Bristol on the schedule coming up soon, which I think the Bristol race, he's going to be fun because he does have experience at that track, so I'm definitely looking forward to that overall. But I think nonetheless it's pretty exciting to see that Cleetus McFarland is going to get the chance and opportunity to race in Arca once again at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Again, I think he'll be somewhat of a solid factor for sure and somewhat of a contender for top 10 at Charlotte Motor Speedway during the same weekend that Kyle Larson is running the Indy 500, running for Aaron McLaren, and of course trying to run the Coke 600 as well. So, that is going to be today's special breaking news report on Cleetus McFarland. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on so if when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How do you think Cleetus McFarland is going to do at Charlotte? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do you think that Cleetus will make starts in NASCAR at some point in 2025 and also 2026 or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We're going to have the Paintsky video dropping in a couple hours from now. Then, of course, tomorrow we're going to have reactions to maybe truck qualifying. Probably not, though. We're also going to have reactions to the Truck Series race, and we're going to have reactions to the Heat races as well from the All-Star event. And then, of course, on Sunday, we're going to have reactions to the All-Star race, talk about the whole All-Star race event. And if Kyle Larson does make the Fast 12, we'll discuss that on the channel as well. We got content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Cards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Connor Zilisch, Junior Motorsports, Carson Quaffle, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Cleetus McFarland once again, Frankie Midas, Matt DiBenedetto, Eric Roll, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, all the good stuff we'll be talking about on the channel in the coming days and weeks as the silly season progresses and goes on as we progress through the rest of the season. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.